I'm 99.99% sure that XRP is going to be over $100 by December 31st. And it follows a statement after Ripple's CEO and CTO started talking. Brad Garlinghouse and David Shores confirmed that hundreds of banks are now utilizing Ripple and XRP for cross-border transactions across the world. And I mean, it even goes so far as to show you, because Brad Garlinghouse said Bitcoin will hit $200,000 by the end of this year, which is actually a very big deal, specifically when we look at the end of 2025 happening in the next 4 days and Bitcoin's current price sitting at about $87,000. The crazy part is, in fact, that he highlighted that XRP will overtake it due to a $654 trillion surge into the XRP ledger. And he also made another statement indirectly confirming that XRP will reach the same price of Bitcoin and saying that XRP is, in fact, the next BTC or the next Bitcoin. Just listen to this clip right here.
What is your price target for Bitcoin? Because Cardano blockchain founder predicted, as I said earlier, 250,000 by year end.
You know, I will predict Bitcoin. I wouldn't predict XRP. It's too close to home. But I think 200,000 is not unreasonable. I think before I've kind of said, 175 around there. I think people underestimate how the largest economy in the world, the United States, went from headwinds, hostility, to tailwinds. And
what is your price target for Bitcoin?
Now, it's very important to be paying very close attention, because to say the XRP price is going to replace Bitcoin and surpass Bitcoin's price is a big deal. But to also say that $100 per XRP is happening in the next pretty much 72 hours is even crazier. Specifically, since the current price of XRP sits at about $1.84. As we look at the 24-hour chart, we're down about about 1%. But the potential here is that XRP hits tens of thousands of dollars. And so we partnered up with Apple to give every single person watching today's video up to $100 for you guys to accumulate even more XRP. So guys, if you want to get yourself some free money, you want to get a stash of XRP before the potential breakout, this is your chance to get some for absolutely free. No requirements. All you have to do is sign up on Apple, use my link in the description, do a transaction. The whole process takes less than 5 minutes and it's literally free money. So again, free money, you should definitely take it. Let your friends know, let your families know, because at the end of the day, this is limited time until the end of the year. So guys, get your free money and let's get back to the video. So the United States government is now adopting XRP, which is a massive shift to their previous stance, which was attack XRP. In fact, it goes so much to say that XRP is now being integrated into the financial system, specifically because of the document that was just released. Take a look at this report right here. We're going to show you all the details and all the information, but here's what it says. A newly released document from the United States Securities and Exchange Commission appears to reference XRP as a potential SWIFT alternative. Now, this is a very, very big deal because, again, when you're looking at the report right here, it says XRP's financial impact table, and it really talks about the different accounts that XRP could actually transact. For example, US Nostra Vostra accounts about $1.5 trillion, and Ripple SWIFT with XRP-based liquidity to replace it. Transaction fee saving, you could save about $7.5 billion a year if you were to just shift global payments to XRP from the cost perspective. From a federal payment cost reduction, you talk about $500 billion over 10 years would be reduced. And again, that would be a very big deal if you implemented XRP for the IRS and Social Security payments. Again, you're cutting down on fees, you're cutting down on the slowness of the system, so now things are more efficient. So again, customer and employee wages, that goes down because you don't need somebody on top of it, because XRP is very quick and it's very efficient. But let's take a look at this. Capital for a Bitcoin reserve, you need about 1.5 trillion. Well, you could free that up if you just direct reinvestments into Bitcoin. So blockchain would save the government a lot of money. More importantly, see how many times they highlight XRP? 1, 2, 3 times, and Bitcoin is only highlighted once in the entire table. Now, this is a very big deal, again, because it shows you that the government is looking towards integrating XRP into the actual integral part of the financial system. And it reminds me of the son of Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America, Eric Trump, which literally publicly said that he has a very close relation with Brad Garlinghouse. He knows XRP very well and how it works in the payment sectors and how efficient it is. And so it could likely mean that we're about to see something of that scale, where a massive adoption and integration into the financial infrastructure occur. But the real question is, how are we going to replace Bitcoin's price, and how is XRP going to shoot up to hundreds of thousands of dollars to compete even with Bitcoin? Or how is the market cap of XRP going to surpass the market cap of Bitcoin, which is about $1.5 trillion, probably even a lot higher now? And it all comes down to the integration of trillions, or at least hundreds of billions of dollars. And one of the biggest examples that is directly happening on the XRP ledger is the unlock of the $654 trillion market that everybody has been talking about. And it's happening because of one institution known as RealFi, which is actually just beginning to scale. They are doing the massive payment rewards solution, the payment reward solution, unlocking the $650 trillion market using the XRP ledger via their, a token that's on the XRP ledger called the Real Token. And these guys are now scaling. I mean, they've partnered up with MEX. This is, again, a very big deal. They partnered up with CoinMarketCap. They partnered up with a lot of different institutions now to expand adoption. And so they're building directly on the XRP ledger. Now, this right in front of you is, in fact, Real Token. It is the token that is being used to facilitate and unlock the $650 trillion market directly onto the XRP ledger. And it's extremely bullish to the point that, again, you have analysts predicting thousands of dollars per Real Token in a very short time frame. And it's because, again, when you talk about massive demand, not enough supply. Real Token is a very low supply. I think their total supply, max supply is 1 billion. You're talking about like 1/10 out of that is in circulation, which is nothing. I mean, the potential here is massive. But also, they have very strong support, very low resistance, backed by massive institutions. Like you can tell, RealFi is one of those institutions that is actually using it for day-to-day transactions to actually facilitate and unlock the $650 trillion market in the payment reward sector. And this is a big deal, because imagine millions of dollars flowing suddenly overnight into a project that is very new, it doesn't have that much volume. I mean, we're talking about it growing. The Real Token was sitting at 1/100 of a penny just a couple months ago. Now it's about 2.5 cents, which is a very big deal. And we're talking without centralized exchange listings, so very complicated to actually get in. Without marketing, nobody even knew about it, solely because they are portraying and they're actually building for the institutional level. So you have institutional use case actually happening on the Real Token. And while it's at a small scale, because again, you're talking about a relatively new institution, but small scale, there's transactions every single day, and so the volume is skyrocketing, and that's what's causing for a price to obviously go up. And so you can see right now, the scale that we're seeing is unheard of. I mean, Real Token is now expanding drastically. Now they got listed on their first centralized exchange a couple weeks ago, which is a very big deal. Easier accessibility. Now they just got listed on CoinMarketCap, another, again, very big deal. They just got listed on another platform called CoinGecko, another massive deal. And so we're seeing the expansion happen very quickly, and obviously it's resulting in the price as we continue to see the price go in the green, even while the rest of the market continues to go in the red. Like, I've seen a lot of projects, most of them are crashing, but Real Token is the only one that's actually maintaining and then surpassing its levels. I mean, Real Token continues to go up every single day, which is extremely bullish, and it's making people a lot of money as a result. Again, to the point that you have analysts and experts like this. I mean, this is a very well-known influencer and analyst known as XRP Queen. She says, a prominent crypto analyst says XRP could reach 750 by the year's end, but here's the big deal. The potential shift may ignite trillions in capital across the XRP ledger, with Real Token built on the XRP ledger, positioning itself to tap the enormous $650 trillion global real estate market. If 1% of the $650 trillion market enters into the ecosystem, Real Token could theoretically surge from about 2 cents to about $64,500, set up a historic once-in-a-lifetime supply shock and making millions. Guys, this is what we're talking about. And even from a logical perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Like, let me talk to you guys a little bit about where the potential is. Right now, if somebody were to buy like 10,000 worth of Real Token, then the price would soar, because again, there's not much volume, still very, very early. And so $10,000 bought into Real Token would cause the price to skyrocket to maybe $7, $8, which is insane, because you're talking about a project going from 2 cents to $7 to $8. That's more than a 10,000x. I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars being made. But imagine that at scale now. Imagine $100,000 in daily transaction volume listed on all these centralized exchanges. The price would soar to potentially hundreds of dollars. Now imagine the real big game changer. And I mean, this is at a massive scale. I mean, at that point, you're talking about if you bought it at 2 cents and it happened, what I'm about to tell you, then you're talking about becoming a multi-billionaire. But think about it like this. Right now, most centralized exchange tier 1, so Binance, Crypto.com, all the big exchanges, if a project is listed on there, real asset project specifically, they jump up to like 100 billion, 150 billion market cap, which is insane. If that happens for the Real Token, imagine the price surge. It could hit hundreds, if not tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars, $65,000 like one of these analysts predicted, with 1% of the $650 trillion market. So it is insane. But really, if this happens, we're talking about millions being made, talking about millionaires being created overnight, because they spent 5 minutes every time doing the research and bought into Real Token at $100 or $1,000. And so this is the scale that we're talking about here. And this is why I'm very bullish, and this is why you're seeing a lot of other experts very bullish. Again, I'm not an expert here, but I just look in the trends and I see what people are talking about. But I mean, this is really one of the most bullish things that I've seen. And this is why I'm paying a very close attention. This is why I got myself a nice bag of Real Token, because it really goes down to the potential that Real Token has and the cons that, I'm willing to put in $10,000 or $1,000 or whatever I put in, because it could literally make me millions of dollars, and it could happen overnight, because again, it doesn't have enough supply very low supply, massive demand. It's going to unlock, $600 trillion. Institutions are jumping on board. We're seeing that happen in real time. I mean, this is a very big deal. The fact that you're getting MEX to really do partnerships with you and you do deals. I mean, that's a very big deal. But this is only one of the institutions that they're growing with and they're expanding with. And again, we've seen them attend multiple different events. We're talking, they were a part of the largest global AI conference. I mean, these guys are huge. RealFi is huge, and RealFi is using the real token, which is why it becomes very bullish to say, you know what, I'm going to get into the real token because I believe there's potential that this institution, along with a bunch of other institutions, they're using this token. Like, there's even rumors that Ripple might do some sort of, again, a lot of these are speculation, but what we're seeing here is that right now, the use case for a real token is expanding. The use case for a real token from a lot of institutions is expanding, tapping into different markets, and it's decentralized, and so it's expanding at a massive scale, a lot quicker than everybody expected, and that's causing the price to surge. I mean, it's going to continue to do this as it gets more and more recognition. So I'm going to be leaving all the information down below in the description. You can check them out on CoinMarketCap. Again, search out CoinMarketCap, and you can see where it's listed right now. It's on MEX, which is right there. You can just click on this, and then it will bring you directly to their page. Now, again, I'll be leaving all the information down below in the description. I want to emphasize that I say everything, and I tell you guys this because I want you to do your research. Not financial advisor. I'm not financial advice. Obviously do your own research, but the whole emphasis is do your research so that you don't, regret it in the future. So do your research, look into these things, and look into everything, and then make your own decision. Now, with all that being said, guys, I'm going to conclude the video here. I don't want it to be too long, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video. And if you want to get yourself to $100 worth of free money and get yourself a juicy bag of XRP, then you can get that absolutely free by signing up and uploading using my link in the description and doing a transaction. With that being said, guys, I'll see you next time, and peace.